Right, let's get into one of the other biggest stories that have happened this week. Conor Benn spoke exclusively to Piers Morgan on Talk TV. He revealed how his mental health has been affected since failing 2 drug tests in the build-up to a proposed fight with Chris Eubank Jr. in October last year.
You know, I felt like 7 years of hard work and sacrifice and leaving my family and the image I maintained was just, you know, ruined at somebody else's incompetence. You know, it was, it's been hard for the family.
When you say you didn't think you'd make it, what do you mean?
I was taking it day by day. I didn't think I'd see another day.
You were feeling suicidal?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. Yeah, and it upsets me now because I don't know how I got so bad. I got in a really bad way, babe. You got to remember, if you think I'm innocent or if you don't think I'm innocent, I am innocent.
Conor Benn speaking to Piers Morgan a little earlier on this week. I've got to be honest, I've watched that interview probably about 7 times now. And I come away from it just scratching my head as to why Conor Benn has done that interview. I don't think he comes out of it any more positively than he did going into that. I think that was the aim, obviously, to go in there and maybe tell his truth and maybe get the fans back on side a little bit. I think he comes out of it with more questions. It was a little bit incoherent, very contradictory with some of the answers that were in there and some big claims, because as he was kind of just alluding to there, I don't think he actually said it in that particular piece, but he said it throughout the course of the interview, where he is pointing an accusation towards the testing process of manufacturing, manipulating and concealing evidence leading to the failed test for the clean boxing program. What did you make of it this week?
Well, first of all, I want to say that you never like to hear anyone saying that they're so affected by it, by the hatred, you know, on social media or whatever it was, hatred aimed towards him, that his mental health was so bad that he was thinking about suicide, and I mean that sincerely. I thought the tenet of the interview was quite ill-advised. I mean, you mentioned the VADA test there that he has issue with, and that's fine. And I think we need to see the evidence, but not we. The Boxing Board of Control need to see that evidence, and UKAD. But what I think he really fell down on was saying the reason why he wasn't going to the Boxing Board of Control and UKAD for a hearing was based on pride and that they can do one. And I think there isn't a vendetta against him, I believe.
Not
I've spoken to the Boxing Board of Control, I would say, countless times in the last 5.5, 6 months. And I think he should have his hearing with them. And, you know, he's been advised by, you know, the very, very powerful lawyers who know about these scenarios. And he doesn't accept the WBC explanation for him. So,
but he said in the same interview that he accepts being cleared by the WBC, even though he doesn't accept the reason that they gave.
Like you say, there were lots of contradictions. It wasn't satisfactory. You didn't get to the bottom of it with Conor. And, you know, in this week since then, since Monday, we've got his promoter, Eddie Hearn, pressing on, saying there's going to be a fight in June. So what the problem is, it's not even just about Conor Benn. The whole testing process in boxing is being turned on its head. If there are mistakes made, and mistakes have been made...
Then he's suing the wrong people.
Then, well, there's no point suing the board. They haven't done anything wrong.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
He had clomiphene, and they have a strict liability policy. They had clomiphene in his system in the testing process from... leading up to the Eubank fight, not with the WBC cares. So they had to take that action. And obviously, since it's come out, again, between the two men on social media, Benn and Eubank, this revelation that Eubank had asked for another $1 million. Whether this is all true, I don't know, or whether it's just them going at each other. He wants another $1 million to have the fight. Thank God the fight didn't go ahead, because we all knew that would have been wrong to go ahead. But now... what happens? Does Conor Benn get a licence and box in the Middle East, where they probably will licence him, and yet America probably won't? The major commissions in America, if he isn't licensed by the Boxing Board of Control and they've taken his licence away, I cannot see California, New York, Nevada, the main commissions doing it. You get it from the Wild and Woolly commissions, but it's not satisfactory as it stands at the moment.
No, the whole thing's a mess, and this week, like I said, it was very contradictory what Conor was coming out with Piers Morgan. What have you made of it all, Ben, the whole situation?
I think it's a very messy situation. Rumours of, you know, that the initial test was tested 4 times. A lot of questions are being asked at Conor Benn. Now, I'm not defending anybody. I'm asking sensible questions from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the questions to VADA?
Absolutely. Listen, from what Conor Benn has said, there has to be questions towards the WBC and VADA, the clean boxing program, because what he is saying, he is, like I said, using the terms manufacturing, manipulating, concealing evidence. That then is obviously highlighting something that he believes has happened with the testing process. Those questions have to go back.
And his scientist wasn't allowed to go into the research.
Yeah, so there's a few things, a few rumours going around. One of them being that...
This has all come from Conor. Conor said all these things. They're not rumours. He said them.
One of the things is that the initial test was tested 4 times. Why was it tested 4 times? Was the first 3 not reliable? If the first 3 were not reliable, why was the 4th reliable?
On that, there are, I don't know whether this is a VADA thing, but I know of labs that do test multiple times because you're testing for what? 200, 250 different substances.
I think there's different tests, but how long is it apart? I've also heard a rumour that from the first test to the last test coming up positive, there was 9 days. 9 days of a broken seal. What is the point in sealing your urine and your test?
Well, it's broken down into different parts.
Yeah, but if it's broken, and tested there and then, but it was left for 9 days with a broken seal from rumours.
But over 9 days,
why not just urinate in a bottle and put a screw on and say go and run away with it?
But that's what they've done. He's not doing 4 separate urinations.
But this conversation that we've just been speaking about is all about one test. There's 2 failed tests.
Also
with 2 samples.
Also with clear tests in between that. So there's clearly something wrong. Like I said, I'm not defending anybody, but these are questions I'm thinking, how was these UCAD tests, and from what I'm hearing, a potential VADA test being tested clear in between?
The whole system is broken. There's so many questions for Conor Benn and his
VADA
team.
representative needs to come here. It needs to come out and have this debate and answer some of these questions.
But
how is this happening?
All VADA do, just to clarify for anyone listening, I think you probably both know this, they do the test and they take it to a WADA, a World Anti-Doping Agency lab. That's what happens. They don't do the tests. They are just a testing body.
They're the facilitator, and they don't obviously implement any punishment. That has come from they're testing on behalf of the WBC.
Then going on,
the
B sample of the claim that his representative wasn't allowed to watch the B sample.
Again, that's just come from Conor, hasn't it?
So, but if these are the case, if this isn't the case, then someone needs to come from WADA, VADA, whoever, to say that's not what happened. But if that is the case, why has that happened?
Why hasn't the report been sent to the Boxing Board of Control then?
No, of course. I'm asking questions.
Why aren't we able? I don't particularly think they should reveal the test to the the 270 pages to the public at the moment. But it would make sense, surely, to give that test if it has that evidence. Give that document.
Yeah.
If it has that evidence that defends Conor and puts him on the right, give it to the Boxing Board of Control and UCAD, because they're probably going to clear you. Or give you a retrospective ban on strict liability. And there's 6 months up now. When Canelo tested, he went to hair follicles. He went back to the restaurant where they tested the meat there.
I wonder if the reason he's not giving the document to the board is potentially over this legal case of him trying to sue the board. I don't know if that has something to do with it.
It might be, but the reason he gave with Piers Morgan on Monday was that there's a vendetta against me. It's my pride now.
The opening line was that he wanted to prove innocence. He was here because integrity means the most to him. Like you've just said there, if you've got a document there that proves your innocence, and the only people that can validate your innocence are the British Boxing Board of Control and UCAD, who are your old licence holder, give them the document.
Yeah, and you've also got the WBC saying there are previous cases of guys testing positive for clomiphene. Give us your nutritional diet, which he gave, which wasn't part of his defence.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that.
No, but I know you don't agree with it. But let's see,
because the WBC is supposed to be judging him, and they've offered him the plausible reason. No, they shouldn't have done that.
But they have. So that what I'm saying is, from Conor Benn's position, the WBC have said it might have got into your system through eggs.
Right.
So on that, at the
think
very
about
least,
this then. Think about what Ben's just saying there. Think about that. Think about the WBC offering up a plausible reason
you don't accept it
to the defendant. No, that's what they've done. The investigator, the judge, the WBC have offered the plausible reason as to why a test has been failed to the defendant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why have they done that? The defendant is saying that the testing process, VADA, is broken. The judge. Wait a minute. The judge needs the testing process to work because they make millions out of the clean boxing program. So what Conor Benn is saying, You have to investigate it, even though we all look at it.
100%.
Fair enough,
And the
fair
fact
enough.
that Conor, it would have been very easy for Conor to turn around and say, "Yep, eggs." The fact that he's refused that makes me say that he must have something there. He must have something there that for him to have. Otherwise, he is liable to be sued.
So put the report and all its finding is in front of
That's
you.
what it comes
I'm
down
sure
to.
that
And the
I'm
Boxing
sure
Board of
I'm
Control.
sure that
What's
is
he-
going to happen.
I don't see his case to be able to see the Boxing Board of Control. They have acted. I cannot see a judge having ruled that wrong when he tested positive on the 1st of September and they didn't.
I actually agree. I don't think he has a case against the British Boxing Board of Control.